Hey everybody, so today I want to talk about the two best regular season games I have seen in the NHL this year. Now before we start, I just want to remind everyone to please hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Both of those things really help out and are greatly appreciated. So Boston versus Pittsburgh, they played on Thursday in Boston, they played yesterday, Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, and these two games were exactly what hockey is supposed to be. And unfortunately, I would say probably about 70% of regular season games in the NHL nowadays are pretty much snooze fests. Nothing happens. There's little physicality. They're not really that exciting. But every now and then we get great regular season games. And both of these matchups between Pittsburgh and Boston were outstanding. They were the best hockey I have seen all year. The games were physical. The teams were at each other's throats. There was real animosity between these teams. The games were close. They were fun to watch. They were two of the best teams playing in the Eastern Conference. They were, they felt like a mini playoff series. It was only two games. It felt like a mini playoff series. The teams split wins, home team winning each game. It was everything hockey is supposed to be. And the problem is that we don't have nearly enough games like that in the NHL nowadays. Absolutely not even close to enough games like that. There needs to be games that feel like that every single night. That was the best regular season action I have seen all season long. Just from the get-go, those teams were all over each other. They're not even in the same division. They don't only play 3 times a year. It's not like this wasn't Boston, Montreal, or Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. This was, teams that only play a few times a year. They were at each other's throats from the get-go. Scrums all over the place. We had a really good fight in the first game between Patrick Hornquist and Torrey Krug. Big hits both games. The hitting in both games was absolutely incredible. It was what makes people want to watch hockey. And that is what hockey is supposed to be. And it was absolutely awesome. If I was trying to get someone into hockey, and someone who maybe isn't a fan or hasn't watched it before and doesn't really know much about it, I would show them those two games and say, this is what hockey is supposed to be. That is the kind of hockey that made me a hockey fan and has made me a hockey fan for my entire life. That is what the product on the ice needs to look like on a nightly basis in the NHL. And way too many nights nowadays, we have guys just out there skating around, nothing really going on, score a couple goals here, a couple goals there, we'll go to home, and everything's good. There's supposed to be animosity between teams. There's supposed to be intensity in the game. There's supposed to be physicality on the ice, night in and night out. And the Pittsburgh-Boston matchups showcased the absolute best that hockey can be, with the mix of incredible talent. The passing from Sidney Crosby, especially in Sunday's game, was absolutely incredible. But Sidney Crosby was also throwing huge hits. He took out Chris Wagner with a massive hit along the wall. He was getting into it with David Pastrnak of the Bruins. Like, you had star players going at each other. Brad Marchand and Chris Letang, two of the best players on their respective teams, all over each other for the entire game on Sunday. One big scrum that got them both penalties. It was perfect. Thursday's game, you had Krug and Hornquist dropping the gloves and throwing rights. It was fantastic. The huge hits in that game as well. This was perfect. This is hockey. If you didn't get the chance to watch it, watch the highlight packages from these games. Hopefully it involves the physical stuff as well. That is hockey. That is what it's supposed to be all the time. And unfortunately, nowadays, that's what it's like rarely. And that's how fans get so hyped up when the games are like that, because it's rare nowadays. That literally felt like a mini playoff series. That was playoff hockey between the Bruins and the Penguins. And unfortunately, you only get that every once in a while in the regular season. And I wish hockey could be that night in and night out, because it's the absolute best. When hockey is played that way, it is without a doubt the absolute best and most exciting and fun sport to watch. It's just absolutely incredible. And Pittsburgh and Boston did it perfectly. And I wish we had more of it, because I think more people would get really excited about hockey if games every night looked like that, because that was the best action in the regular season I have seen all year long between two teams in games that I have personally watched. And I watch a lot of hockey. I mean, I don't watch, necessarily every single team or every single game, but I watch a lot of hockey. And I would say probably 70% of the time when a game finishes, I'm like, that was okay. Not in the playoffs. Playoffs are playoff hockey is the greatest thing in all of sports. But in the regular season, the NHL regular season has gotten more and more boring as the years have gone on. And it's gotten more boring as hockey's gotten softer and less physical. And now it's just guys skating around a lot of the time. And that really sucks, because Pittsburgh and Boston just showed that you can have great players playing extremely physical as well, and that you can have outstanding playoff-like hockey in the regular season. The teams just need to bring that intensity, bring that emotion, bring that animosity for the opponent. If they bring that on a night-in and night-out basis, you would have grade A level hockey on a night-in and night-out basis. And it got me excited as a hockey fan again. Watching those two games between Pittsburgh and Boston made me like hockey more, even more than I already do. It made me excited as a hockey fan again. It made me want to watch more. That's the last of the matchups between Pittsburgh and Boston this year. They've already played their 3 games. That sucks. I want to see them play again. I hope they meet in the playoffs. What a conference final that would be. That would be an A-plus conference final for the East, Boston and Pittsburgh. After watching those 2 games, that would be unbelievable. I want to see more of it. I want to see more games like that. And I wish more teams and more matchups were like that, because it seems like every time Boston and Pittsburgh play, it's an outstanding game. And this season series this year was fantastic. And I wish there were more matchups like that. I wish there were more games like that, because that was hockey at its absolute best. So the NHL just, quite frankly, needs more action like that. The regular season has gotten watered down, kind of boring. A lot of the games are really not much happens. You get more games like that, and my excitement level is going back through the roof about regular season hockey. But I don't, every now and then it happens. You get a really good matchup. You get two teams that really don't like each other, and they go at it, and it's a great game. But the NHL needs that on a nightly basis, and they've just got to find a way to inject more energy, more emotion, and more intensity into these regular season games to make them better. And I hope that happens as the game continues to evolve and change. I hope that at some point we get back to that more physicality, more animosity, and more exciting games, because the games are just overall way more entertaining and way more fun to watch when the teams hate each other than when they're just out there skating around, and that's just a fact. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.